The sky was clear, blue, peaceful. Children played in the parks. People walked to work. Birds flew high. No one expected war. Then, at 10:16 a.m., everything changed. A sound came, deep, loud, like thunder, but not from clouds. It came from above. From space. People looked up and saw it. A giant shadow moved across the sky, bigger than a mountain. Black and silver, smooth like glass, and shaped like a spearhead. It hovered over New York City. The air became cold. Silence spread. Everyone stopped. Cars crashed. Phones fell. Eyes were wide with fear. Above them, the first alien ship had arrived. The World Watches news broke in seconds. Breaking. Alien ship over Earth. Leave footage. New York under shadow. Is this first? Contact? But it wasn't just New York. London, Beijing, Cairo, Rio de Janeiro, Sydney. 12 alien ships appeared over major cities, each one the same size. Each one silent. Then, at exactly 11 a.m., they spoke. Every screen, every phone, every speaker. Even radio stations turned black. Then a voice came. Deep, heavy, cold. We are the Varnak Empire. You are now part of our domain. Kneel or be destroyed. The voice paused. Then added, you have 1 hour. People screamed. Some prayed, some ran. Some stood still, frozen by fear. The Varnak had arrived and they wanted Earth. In the war room far below Washington, D.C. Inside a steel bunker known as Fort Sentinel, world leaders gathered. General Marcus Kane stood tall. Gray hair, sharp. Eyes, scars on his hands. A man who had seen many battles, but never one like this. President Alara Moss looked at the screens. Her face was pale, but her voice was calm. Alara to all nations. No panic, we will respond united. Beside her, General Kane watched the ship on the screen. They're not bluffing, he said. That's not a show of power. That's a message. They've done this before. Before? The president asked. He nodded. They attacked the Archon, a peaceful alien race, 2 years ago. We received their final distress call. But we kept it quiet. Why? Kane looked at her. Because Earth wasn't ready, but now we are. He pressed a button. A steel door opened. Behind it was a glowing table, a map of Earth. Dots blinked across it. Hidden military bases, orbital weapons, satellite. Drones. This is Project Black Phoenix, built in secret. Trained in silence for this day. Alara stared at him. You knew this would happen. I didn't know. I feared it. He smiled, not with joy, but with grim readiness. And now, it's time to answer them. The young soldier far from Washington, in a mountain base in Alaska, a young soldier stared at the sky. His name was Rayan Cross, only 24, short hair, serious eyes. He had joined the Earth Defense Force after his parents died in a mysterious alien attack near Jupiter. He believed Earth was not alone. He believed the truth was hidden. And now he was right. He turned to his team. Suit up, he said. It's real now. They geared up. Armor, weapons, neural links. Training was over. The war had started. But Rayan had one more reason to fight revenge. He looked at a photo of his family. They started this, he whispered. We'll finish it. The hour ends as the clock struck 12 o'clock noon. The sky turned red. The Varnak gave no second warning. No more words. They fired. A massive beam shot from the ship over New York. A white-hot blast of plasma. It hit the ground and exploded like a small sun. Skyscrapers melted. Streets turned to fire. Millions died in seconds. The same happened in Cairo, in Beijing. In Rio. 4 cities. Gone in minutes. The world screamed. The Varnak were not here to talk. They were here to conquer. Earth responds inside Fort Sentinel. President Alara stood tall. No more waiting, she said. General Kane nodded. Order all. Bases, launch Phoenix 1. Across Earth, hidden silos opened. In the oceans, submarines rose. In space, satellites turned toward the enemy. And from the dark side of the moon, a base no one knew existed, called Oblivion Station, came online. Humanity had planned for this day. And now, they fought back. The first shot, in orbit above Earth. One of the Varnak ships hovered calmly until it suddenly shook. A human stealth ship, using light-bending tech, fired a railgun round directly into its weak spot. The alien ship jerked. Alarms blared. Fire exploded from its side. General Kane watched the screen. Hit confirmed. That's the first. President Alara whispered, 1 down, 11 to go. Alien surprised. The Varnak commander, named Zorthal, watched from his flagship. Primitive species, he growled. And yet, they resist. Another alien walked in. One of our ships is falling. Earth has weapons we didn't expect. Zorthal hissed. Then we make them kneel, burn more cities. But even he began to worry. He remembered what the ancient scrolls warned. Beware the ones who rise from fire. They may burn brighter than stars. A dangerous smile back on Earth, in a small underground room. A man watched it all. He was not in uniform. He was not part of the army. He was a scientist. But not just any scientist. Dr. Kale Voss, creator of Earth's darkest weapon, a man who once said, if aliens ever attack, we must become worse than them. He looked at the falling alien ship and smiled. It begins, he said. Now, let's show them why they should fear humans. Rayan stood at the edge of the launch bay. Behind him, his squad prepared for their first mission, Operation Iron Sky. He looked at the stars, then at the alien ship still floating above. They came to take our world, he said, but they made a mistake. He loaded his rifle. They thought we'd bow. The engines roared. The war had begun, but no one, not even the aliens, knew what humans were truly capable of. Not yet. The earth burned. Flames rose from what was once New York City. Skyscrapers were now melted steel. Streets were black. Smoke touched the sky like a giant storm, and yet, in the middle of all this death, one sound still echoed. Human heartbeat. The survivor, a man, crawled from the rubble. His arm was broken, his face covered in ash. But his eyes were alive, angry. His name was Officer Daniel Hart, a police officer. He had been in the middle of traffic when the alien beam hit. Thousands died around him. But somehow he lived. He looked up at the alien ship floating above. It was huge, silent, cold. He whispered, "You killed my city." Behind him, others began to appear, hurt, bloody, crying, but alive. He stood up slowly. "Listen to me," he shouted. "We are not finished." People looked at him with weak eyes, but they stood. One by one. And across the destroyed city, a new sound began, the sound of human will, even in fire. They rose. Inside the war room, General Kane watched satellite footage of New York, then Cairo, then Beijing. Each one looked the same: ash, smoke, and glowing ruins. President Alara stood behind him. Her face was hard now. "No more fear. They thought we'd surrender," she said. Kane replied. "They don't know us." On the screen, red lights flashed. Enemy ships were moving again. "They're heading toward more cities," a young officer said. "Paris, Mumbai, Mexico City." Kane nodded. "They want to break us before we fight back." "But they forgot one thing," Ilara said. "We're already fighting." She pressed a button. "Activate shadow teams. Prepare global broadcast." A message to the world. Every screen lit up. Phones, TVS, smartwatches, digital signs. The Earth's people watched as President Alara Moss appeared. She stood tall, calm. Behind her was the Earth defense flag, a circle of stars and one strong fist. She spoke slowly, clearly. "People of Earth, this is not the end. This is our beginning. Yes, cities have fallen. Yes, lives have been lost, but we are not broken. The Varnuk came to scare us, to make us kneel. But we do not kneel, we fight. Right now, our forces are moving. Plans are active, humanity will rise together. To the Varnuk we say, you started this war, but we will finish it. The message ended. And across the world, something changed. In small towns, people started helping each other. In cities, survivors dug through rubble to save others. Soldiers, police, even old enemies worked side by side. The human spirit had awakened. Alaska Command Base, Shadow Team Bravery and Cross stood in front of his squad. His armor was clean, black with silver stripes. His helmet hung from his side. 3 cities destroyed, he said. The enemy thinks we're weak. He looked each soldier in the eye. Young, old men, women, all ready. They want fear. Let's give them fire. The mission: infiltrate a Varnok ground station in Alaska. It was scanning Earth's defenses. It had to be destroyed. Rayan's team entered a stealth ship, black, fast and silent. The doors closed. The ship rose into the sky. Above them, lightning flashed. Below, the Earth was at war. Varnuk Station, frozen lands, the alien outpost, stood like a sharp tower of black ice. It was tall. Strange lights pulsed on its surface. Inside, 2 Varnok guards moved slowly. Their skin was dark green. Their eyes glowed yellow. They spoke in harsh clicks. These humans resist more than expected. Then we kill faster. Suddenly, boom! The wall behind them exploded. Smoke poured in. Rayan and his team entered fast. Guns ready, go! He shouted. Laser fire filled the air. 1 alien fell. Then another. Rayan rolled forward, shot the control panel. The lights flickered. A countdown began. Self-destruct in 90 seconds. Move out. The team ran back, dodging fire. Behind them, the alien station began to glow. Rayan jumped into the ship just as fire erupted behind him. The alien station exploded. 1 more win for Earth. In orbit, Varnok flagship commander Zorthel slammed his fist into the wall. Another outpost. Lost? He roared. His officers looked nervous. Yes, Commander. Humans destroyed 3 outposts today. Their attacks are coordinated. Zorthel's eyes narrowed. They learn fast, he said. Too fast. He looked at the Earth. Send the Reapers, he said. His officers froze. But, Commander, they are not, I said. Send them. The order was given. A new kind of weapon would now reach Earth. One designed not to destroy buildings, but to hunt humans. Underground city, Haven 17 deep under London. A hidden city had been built years ago, in case of invasion. Now it was full. Civilians. Soldiers, scientists. Dr. Cale Vos stood in his lab. His hands moved over a hologram. A new weapon, the Ion Pulse Blade, was ready for field testing. A young officer entered. Dr. Vos, shadow teams are asking for upgrades. Vos smiled. They'll get them. And more. He looked at a screen showing the alien fleet. They think technology makes them gods. Let's remind them that humans built nukes with sticks and wires. Mexico City, the people stand. The Varnok ship appeared. Hovered. People screamed. Ran, but then a sound came, a trumpet. 1 old man stood in the street. Then another. Then a woman. Then children. Thousands stood, holding nothing. Just standing. The Varnok ship paused. Then it turned. It flew away. They didn't fire, because the people didn't run. And for the first time, the aliens hesitated. Rayan's second mission. Rayan's squad was sent to disable a Varnok supply drone over the Pacific. As they flew close, their ship was hit. Fire burst in the back. Alarms rang. Brace! Shouted Rayan. The ship crashed into the water. They swam, crawled onto a nearby island. 1 soldier was hurt. Another missing. Rayan refused to leave. He carried the wounded man on his back. For 2 days, they hid. Then they built a signal tower from scrap. Earth forces found them, picked them up. Even in failure, they survived. They adapted. That's what humans do. A letter from a child in a shelter in Kenya. A small girl wrote a letter. Her name was Luma. She was 9. The letter said, "Dear alien people, you hurt my brother. He was only 5. But I still hope your people find peace. But if you want to keep fighting, know this, we are not scared of you." From Luma, the letter went viral. It was translated into 90 languages. People cried. People stood up. And somewhere in space, an alien read it, and for the first time, felt shame. Final scene. The promise of revenge at a secret base on Mars. Hidden for decades, something woke up. An AI satellite, named Goliath, activated. It spoke to Earth Command. Primary objective, total counterattack. Authorization needed. General Kane approved. Across the solar system, weapons activated. Earth would not wait anymore. Ending hook of Part 2. Rayan stood at the edge of the skyport. His armor was damaged. His eyes tired, but he smiled. "We lost cities," he said. "But they made a mistake." His team stood beside him. They thought pain would stop us. But pain just made us stronger. Above them, human ships rose into the stars. And now Earth was going to war, not to survive, but to win. The stars were quiet. Far above the burning Earth, in the blackness of space, human ships floated like shadows. Their engines were cold. Their weapons were silent. They waited. This was not defense. This was attack. Inside the ghost fleet on the edge of Earth's orbit, hidden behind the moon's dark side, the ghost fleet waited. It was a group of top-secret stealth ships. Black metal, no signals, no sound. Each ship had a mission. Inside the command ship Valkyrie, Captain Riva Holt stared at the screen. She was tough, with a sharp jaw and calm voice. A war veteran from the Mars uprising. She had seen pain, but never war like this. Beside her stood Rayan Cross, now promoted after 2 successful missions. His eyes were sharper now. His hands never shook. "The target is locked," Riva said. On the screen, an alien mothership hovered above the Pacific Ocean. It was one of the 12 Varnock ships, a fortress in the sky. Rayan asked, "Do we have confirmation on the weak spot?" Riva nodded. "Dr. Voss said it's the core, right here." She pointed to a glowing section near the base. Rayan tightened his grip on his helmet. "Then we don't miss." The strike planned. There were 3 ships in the attack group. Valkyrie, command and long-range weaponry. Ghostfire, stealth bomber with plasma torpedoes. Wraith, Rayan's strike ship, built for close combat and fast escape. Each ship had a part to play. General Kane's voice came over the comms. "Team, you are cleared. This is not just a mission. This is a message. Show them what humanity can do." The ships powered up slowly. Engines glowed blue. Weapons moved into position. Rayan looked out the window at the dark space. "We fight not to survive," he whispered. "We fight to show we're not afraid." Approach to target. The alien mothership above the Pacific looked quiet, no movement. But inside, thousands of alien warriors waited. The ghost fleet moved in, hidden by tech, light, and silence. On Ghostfire, Commander Lane whispered, "Torpedoes ready." On Valkyrie, Riva counted down. Double quotes 3. 2. 1. Fire. 2. Torpedoes shot from Ghostfire. Fast, silent, blue fire behind them. They hit the alien ship at its base. A small explosion, just enough to open a hole. Then came Wraith. Rayan's ship rushed into the hole, flying straight into the enemy. Inside the beast, the alien ship's inside was like a maze. Black walls, green lights, strange symbols. Rayan's team, 4 soldiers, jumped out. Boots hit the metal floor. Guns ready. An alarm began to sound. Intruders, humans inside. Defend the core. Alien guards rushed in. Claws sharp. Guns glowing. Rayan shouted, "Form up! Cover left!" Blasters fired. Smoke filled the halls. 2 aliens fell. One human was hit in the leg but kept going. They moved forward, step by step, toward the power core. Dr. Voss had said, "Destroy the core, the ship dies." The heart of the monster, the power core room, was giant. A glowing sphere floated in the center. Electricity cracked around it. 3 alien warriors stood guarding it. Bigger than the rest. Their skin was armored. Their eyes burned red. Rayan and his team didn't wait. "Engage!" he shouted. The fight was brutal. One soldier was thrown across the room. Another broke an alien's arm with a metal rod. Rayan rolled under a swing and shot the core's base. Boom! It cracked. He yelled, "Detonate the charge!" Now his teammate ran forward and planted the explosive. The timer started. 90 seconds. The Escaparayan grabbed his wounded teammate and ran. The hallway shook. Fire came from the walls. Behind them, the core glowed brighter and brighter. "Ship is going critical," said a voice in their helmets. "You have 60 seconds." Rayan reached the hangar. His pilot was waiting inside Wraith. The doors were open. "Go! Go! Go!" he shouted. They jumped in. The engines roared. The alien ship exploded just as Wraith flew out of the fire. Behind them, the sky turned orange. The sea below reflected the burning wreck. Humanity had destroyed its first Varnock mothership. Cheers on Earth, back on Earth. People watched the live feed from the orbit cameras. As the alien ship exploded, cheers spread across cities, towns, and bunkers. People cried. People hugged. Some laughed. Others simply stared in shock. They had seen defeat. Now they saw hope. President Alara stood before the camera again. "Today, Earth strikes back. Today, we show that we are not prey. We are not weak. We are not broken. Today, the war changes." Her voice echoed around the world. Alien reaction on the Varnock homeworld. Millions of light years away, the High Council met. One elder spoke. "The humans have destroyed a mothership. This has never happened before." Another replied, "They must be stopped. Increase the fleet. Bring the Flame Reapers." But a third alien, older, wiser, said nothing. He simply looked at Earth's image on the screen. "They are dangerous," he said finally, "because they fight like us, but feel more than us." Rayan's return at the moonbase Oblivion Station. Rayan and his team landed. Crowds clapped. Soldiers saluted. Even General Kane smiled. "You make history, son, Kane." Sighed. "You just lit the first fire." Rayan looked at the stars. "We're just getting started." Meanwhile, a hidden message deep inside the wreck of the alien ship. A black cube floated in space, untouched by the explosion. A small drone found it and carried it back to Earth. Dr. Cale Vos opened it. Inside was a message. In the alien language. But the meaning was clear. This is only the first wave. He stared at the message for a long time, then whispered, "They're planning something bigger." Training the new army. Earth's army had new heroes now. Rayan, Lane, Riva. But war needed more. Across the globe, training camps opened. Volunteers came from every country. Men and women, young and old, all ready to fight. They trained with new weapons. Learned alien tactics. Prepared for battles beyond Earth. Rayan sometimes visited the camps. Giving speeches, he would say, "They thought fear would win, but we turned fear into fire." Alien countermove in the dark side of Jupiter. Something stirred. A huge alien station. Not Varnock, but something older, came alive. It sent a signal. Not in words, not in code. It sent a warning. Something else was watching this war. Something worse. And it had just woken up. Final scene. Earth's new plan inside Fort Sentinel. General Kane, President Ilara, and Dr. Voss sat in silence. "We won this strike," Ilara said. "But they'll come harder," Kane said. "Then we strike harder," Voss added. "Then we hit where it hurts, their supply chains, their mines, their secrets." They looked at the star map. Next target, Varnock Command Relay on Mars Moon. Phobos, Ilara stood. "We started the fire. Now we burn down their empire." Rayan stood on the edge of the moon base. He looked down at Earth, beautiful, glowing, blue. Then he looked up at the stars and whispered, "Next time we go to them." Behind him, new ships were ready, bigger, faster, deadlier. And this time humanity would not wait. The stars were silent again. But this time, it wasn't victory. It was the silence of a trap. Mission to Mars Moon. Phobos after the successful human strike. General Kane approved a bold new mission. Attack the alien communication base on Phobos, one of Mars Moon's. It was the main relay that connected the Varnock fleet to their empire. Destroying it could break their coordination. Rayan Cross and his new elite team, Shadow Viper Squad, were chosen for the job. They trained for 2 weeks in zero-gravity combat. They studied the alien language, weapons, and layouts. Then, one cold morning, they launched from Luna Command Base. Their ship, Midnight Spear, cut through space. Black and sharp, silent, hidden. But the mission was not what it seemed. Entering the alien base, they reached Phobos in 6 hours. The alien relay tower stood tall like a dark claw reaching for the sky. It pulsed green energy, quiet but full of power. Rayan's ship landed silently. His team moved fast. 8 soldiers, trained and ready. They entered the base through a side tunnel. No resistance. "No sound. Too easy," said Kira, the squad's tech expert. Rayan agreed. "Keep your guard up." As they moved deeper, something changed. The walls shifted. The lights flickered. Then the door behind them slammed shut. Slam! Trapped! Suddenly gas sprayed from the ceiling. A strange, thick green fog. Masks on. Rayan shouted. Too late. One by one, the soldiers fell unconscious. Rayan's eyes closed last. He saw a shadow move toward him. Then darkness. Captured when Rayan woke up. His head hurt. His hands were tied. The room was cold, made of dark stone. Strange symbols glowed on the walls. He wasn't alone. 5 of his team were also there, tied. Weak, confused. One was missing. Another was badly hurt. Kira whispered. "What happened?" Rayan tried to stand. It was a trap. They knew we were coming. Just then, the door opened. An alien walked in. But not just any alien. This one looked different, taller, with armor made of bones, and glowing blue eyes. It spoke. Slowly, "You are brave, but foolish. Humans should not be here." Rayan stared at him. "Then kill us. But know this, we won't beg." The alien paused, then smiled. "No, you are not here to die. You are here to learn the truth about the war." Rayan and his team were taken to another room. Holograms floated in the air, maps, videos, data. The alien leader, called Saruan, stood before them. He said something strange. "You think we attacked you first. But we were not the first ones." Rayan frowned. "What are you talking about?" Saruan waved his hand. A new image appeared of a destroyed alien world. Cities burned. Skies black. This was the world of the Krill. Long ago, they attacked Earth. And vanished. But they were not alone. A dark force is moving in the galaxy, and now it uses humans and aliens like pieces on a game board. Rayan didn't believe it. "You destroyed Earth's cities. You killed millions." Saruan replied, "Yes, because we thought you were part of that darkness. But you're not," he added. "You fight like us." Rayan looked at his team. Doubt began to form in his mind. Was the Varnock telling the truth? Escape plan begins no matter the truth. Rayan knew one thing. He had to escape. He studied the guard patterns, the shifts, the weak points. Kira managed to hack a small alien device using scrap wires. They had one chance. At night, when the guards changed, Rayan made his move. He broke his cuffs, knocked out a guard, and took his weapon. "Move," he whispered. The team followed, quiet, fast. But just before they reached the exit, alarms rang. "Prisoners escaping. Stop them." Blasts fired. A soldier was hit. Another fell. Rayan didn't stop. He carried the wounded one and ran. They reached a small shuttle docked at the far side of the base. Kira jumped into the pilot's seat. "Go, go, go." Rayan shouted. The ship lifted. Alien fighters chased them, but Kira flew through a narrow canyon and activated stealth mode. They vanished into the black of space. One left behind, but not all made it. One soldier, Lorne, had stayed behind to cover their escape. Rayan watched from the window as the alien base shrank behind them. He bought. "U.S. time," Rayan said quietly. The team was silent. The cost of war was always heavy. Back on Earth, when Midnight Spear returned, it was like ghosts walking off the ramp. General Kane met them. "You completed the mission?" Rayan shook his head. "No, it was a trap, but we learned something." He handed over the data crystal Kira had taken from the alien base. Kane nodded. "We'll study it." But Dr. Cale Voss, watching nearby, already knew. He had seen it before. The signs, the symbols. There was another force in the galaxy, and it was darker than the Varnuk. The hidden ones, deep in space. Beyond any map, a black planet spun slowly. No light. No sound. Inside, strange creatures moved. Not like the Varnuk, not like humans. They had no name. No emotion. Only hunger. One of them spoke. "The humans are waking up. So are the Varnuk. Let them fight. When both are weak, we feed." And far away on Earth, no one knew they were being watched. Rayan's promise at the hospital wing. Rayan sat beside his wounded teammate. Kira walked in. "You did good, Ray." Rayan shook his head. "I left one behind." "You saved 5, she said. "You brought back truth." Rayan looked at the stars outside the window. "If this is bigger than we thought, then we fight smarter, not just harder." He stood up. "Next time, they don't trap us, we trap them." Dr. Voss's warning inside his lab. Dr. Cale Voss studied the alien data. He spoke to President Alara through a secure line. "There's something coming," he said. "Something worse than the Varnuk." Ilara looked serious. "How much time do we have?" Voss replied. "Not enough." In a secret alien cell on Phobos, Lorne, the soldier left behind, opened his eyes. He was alive. He looked around and saw something terrifying. Not an alien, but a human wearing alien armor, smiling. "You didn't think you were the only one, did you?" the man said. Lorne's heart raced. There was a human working with the enemy. The fire had returned, but this time it came from Earth. 3 days after Phobos mission, the news spread fast. Rayan Cross and his team had escaped a Varnuk trap. They had returned with dangerous truth. The war was bigger than anyone thought. The Varnuk were not the only threat. Something darker was watching, but even with that danger ahead, one thing was clear. Earth would no longer wait. It was time to strike back with full force. Fort Sentinel. War Room General Marcus Kane stood in front of the Global Military Council. A giant map of the solar system floated behind him. "All of you know the numbers," he said. 4 human cities destroyed. 3 alien ships shot down. 1 squad almost wiped out. He paused, then continued. "But today, that ends." He pointed to the map. "These are Varnok supply routes. Weapon factories, fuel stations, all hidden until now." He slammed his fist on the table. "We burned them all." President Alara Moss spoke next. Calm but strong. The world is ready. The people are angry. The enemy thinks we're scared. Let's prove them wrong. Orders were given. Earth's wrath had begun. Operation Firestorm, this was the name of Earth's first full-scale counterattack. 12 major missions, 18 countries involved, over 2,000 human soldiers deployed, support from Earth orbit, moon bases, and secret Martian stations. Rayan Cross was assigned to Strike Team Omega. Their target, a hidden alien shipyard on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. The mission was dangerous, but Rayan was ready. He stood with his team on the deck of the Stormbreaker, Earth's most advanced warship. "We lost friends," he said. "Now we make the enemy lose everything." The journey to Europa, the trip took 14 hours at hyperspeed. The ship cut through space like a silent sword. On board, soldiers cleaned weapons, checked armor, reviewed maps. Rayan sat with Kira and the others. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. Each face said the same thing. This time, no mercy. Above them, holograms showed the shipyard, floating above Europa's icy surface, guarded by 3 small alien cruisers and dozens of drones. They planned to drop in from orbit. No warning, no fear. Meanwhile, on Europa, the alien shipyard was massive, shaped like a spider made of black steel. Green lights blinked across it. Inside, hundreds of drones worked, building weapons meant to destroy Earth cities. The Varnok commander in charge, named Gralvesh, walked across the upper platform. He had heard of the human strike on Phobos. He had laughed. "These creatures do not understand war," he told his staff. But he would soon learn just how wrong he was. The invasion begins. First sign came at 3:14. Europa time. A blinding flash appeared in the sky. Then silence. Then chaos. Rayan and Omega Squad dropped from orbit in stealth pods. Fast, burning like falling stars. They hit the deck hard. Doors blew open. Humans poured out. Rayan rolled onto the platform and fired. The first alien guard dropped before he could scream. "Kira, take the drones," he shouted. She launched 3 spider-like EMP bots that crawled up walls and exploded, frying alien tech. Boom. Boom. Lights went out. War in the ice. The battle was fast and brutal. Laser fire lit the sky. Explosions rocked the ground. Human soldiers moved like ghosts. Fast, quiet, deadly. Rayan moved to the halls of the shipyard, clearing rooms, planting bombs. Section Alpha cleared. One soldier called, "Beta down." Shouted another. In just 11 minutes, half the base was burning. But then, a deep roar shook the entire station. Gralvesh had activated the last defense, a giant battle mech, 3 stories tall. Powered by alien plasma. It stepped onto the deck and fired. One human soldier was vaporized instantly. Rayan versus the Beast Rain saw it. "Split up," he yelled. "I'll handle this." "You're crazy," Kira shouted. Rayan didn't stop. He ran up a tower, grabbed a plasma launcher from a fallen soldier, and jumped. The mech turned, aiming its cannon. Rayan fired first. Boom. The mech stumbled, but didn't fall. Rayan landed hard, rolled, and ducked behind a broken pillar. The mech fired again. The shot missed. Rayan ran, jumped, climbed, fired again. Finally, he reached the top of the mech and planted a grenade near its core. He jumped off just as it exploded. The mech collapsed. Rayan hit the ground, hard. Silence. Then, cheers. The team had won. Final phase with the mech down and the aliens dead or running. The humans placed final charges. Rayan gave the call. Blow it. From orbit, Stormbreaker fired one final missile. The entire shipyard exploded in a wave of blue fire. Europa shook. Alien tech burned. Mission complete. News. Around the world, Earth watched the live transmission. One more alien station gone. Children in shelters cheered. Families of lost soldiers cried and smiled. The media called it the day Earth roared. And it wasn't the only victory. On the same day, A human submarine sank an alien supply ship in the Atlantic. A Martian base launched missiles at a Varnock moon station. Ground forces in Africa wiped out a Varnock scouting team in the Sahara. Earth was no longer defending. Earth was winning. Back on Earth, a hidden threat, but while the world celebrated, danger grew. Dr. Cale Voss stared at the latest decoded alien message. It wasn't just a threat. It was a list of human names. Rayan's name was on it. And next to each name was one word: target. Lorne, still alive deep in the Varnock prison on Phobos. Lorne was still alive. Weak, chained, but alive. Every day he was questioned. But one thing gave him hope. The other prisoner, the strange human who wore alien armor, had vanished. That meant he was on the move, and that meant maybe he could help, or maybe he was something worse. Alien Homeworld Council meeting. Back on the Varnock homeworld, the High Council watched the footage of Earth's attacks. One spoke. They have changed. They do not fear anymore, another said. They are evolving faster than expected. But the oldest one, the seer, said, no. They are remembering. Long ago, their kind ruled fire. Now they remember how to burn. Rayan returned to Fort Sentinel. He stood before President Alara and General Kane. You did well, Kane said. Europa was a win. Rayan looked serious. They're targeting us. One by one, I saw something in the data. They're planning something big. Ilara nodded. We'll be ready. But Rayan shook his head. No, we won't wait. He turned to the screen. A star map. Next target. The Varnock Thought Fortress. A base that controls alien strategy using mind tech. Rayan said one word. Next. The stars had become silent no more. They echoed now with fire death. And the voice of humanity rising. Earth was no longer alone. And war had crossed its final border. New orders from Fort Sentinel in the underground war chamber. General Kane stood beside a massive star map. Around him, commanders from every Earth nation watched in silence. He pointed at a glowing red point far beyond. Mars. This is the Varnock Thought Fortress. It controls all alien battle decisions using mind commands. Every Varnock soldier feels its signal. He paused. We shut this down. We shut them down. Rayan Cross stood at the side, arms folded. He had faced traps, beasts, and fire, but this was different. He knew this would be humanity's first battle outside the solar system. We've never gone this far. Kira whispered beside him. Rayan replied, they took the war to our homes. Now we take it past the stars. The mission was named Operation Starbreaker, preparation for the unknown. Trip would take 2 days through hyperstream tunnels, artificial space highways, built long ago by lost alien races, only one Earth. Ship was fast and strong enough for the journey, the Icarus Blade. A prototype human dreadnought. It had triple-layer armor, quantum, railguns, a rotating AI defense system, and a new weapon designed by Dr. Cale Voss, the Gravity Lance, strong enough to pierce a moon. Rayan's team, now called Unit Nova, would lead the boarding operation once they reached the Thought Fortress. But one warning remained. The fortress wasn't just a base. It was alive. It could read minds, create illusions, break wills. This time, Kane said, your mind is the battlefield. Launch into deep space at 040 hours. The Icarus Blade rose from Earth's dark side like a ghost made of metal and hope. Hundreds of soldiers stood inside, calm, silent. Rayan looked at Earth through a small window. I'll come back, he whispered. Then, the ship entered the hyperstream and vanished. Inside the fortress far ahead, the Varnock Thought Fortress floated in space like a black crown. It pulsed with strange energy. It had no engines. It simply existed like an ancient god watching the stars. Inside it, minds connected across light years. Every Varnock warrior heard its call. Its guardian, a psychic general named Zathran, sat in silence. His eyes were closed, but his mind felt everything. "They are coming," he said. One servant asked. "Shall we destroy them?" Zathran smiled. "No, let them enter. We will destroy their courage first." And far away, the Icarus blade kept flying. Unexpected visitor during the journey. Rayan visited the lower deck. There, behind locked glass, sat a strange man, wearing Varnock armor. Smiling. Rayan single quotes, jaw clenched. "Who is he?" "Huvange man, wearing Varnock armor." Smiling. Rayan single quotes, jaw clenched. Kane's voice came from behind. "His name is Commander Sol Darren, ex-human. He betrayed Earth years ago. Now, he says he wants to help." Rayan stepped forward. "Why should we trust you?" Sol smiled. "Because I've seen what's beyond the Varnock." "You think they're bad? You haven't met the ones behind them yet." Rayan looked in his eyes. There was no lie, only fear. Approaching the fortress 2 days later, the Icarus blade dropped out of the hyperstream. Before them stood the Thought Fortress. It was huge, floating in deep space like a planet-sized brain. Wrapped in black armor. Hundreds of alien drones flew around it. "Brace for impact," the captain said. Engaging strike mode. Earth's ship fired first. Railguns ripped through alien defense. Missiles flew. Then the fortress responded. A psychic shockwave hit the ship. The crew screamed. Some fainted. Others heard voices from their past. Rayan fell to his knees, saw his dead brother. Heard his voice, but he stood. "No," he whispered. "You're not real." He fought the illusion, and boarding begins. Unit Nova entered the fortress through a broken hatch. Inside, the walls pulsed like they were breathing. The air was warm. "Wrong. Stay close," Rayan ordered. "Don't believe anything you see." They walked down long halls. Echoes followed them. Suddenly, a door opened. A figure stepped out. It was Rayan's mother. Alive. Smiling. Double quotes. "Come home, Ray," she said. Kira gasped. "It's not her." Rayan raised his gun. Shot her. She vanished. In smoke. "This place feeds on memory," he said. "Don't give it anything." They moved deeper. Mine battle with Zathran Finley. They reached the central mine core. It looked like a giant red heart floating in a tank of light. And in front of it stood Zathran. He didn't move. Didn't blink. But their minds felt his attack. Each soldier froze. Their fears played out before them. Rayan saw fire, saw Kira dying, saw Earth falling. He closed his eyes. "I am not afraid." He remembered pain, victory, friends, Lauren's sacrifice. Earth scream. He pushed back. Zathran stepped back, shocked. "You resist," Rayan aimed. "I fight." He fired. Destruction of the core as the alien psychic fell. The fortress shook. Kira activated the bomb. 30 seconds. They ran. Doors closed, walls melted. The fortress screamed, but they made it. The Icarus blade pulled them in at the last second. Then boom! The Thought Fortress exploded like a star tearing apart. And across the galaxy, Varnock soldiers everywhere screamed and collapsed. The signal was gone. They were blind, and Earth was roaring. Earth celebrates. The mission was a success. Earth's armies began pushing forward. In orbit, on moons, in alien stations. Everywhere, the Varnock fell back. In shelters, people cried with joy. In schools, children learned about heroes. In bunkers, old men raised flags. And in space, Rayan sat in silence, not smiling, because he knew this wasn't over. Back on Phobos, Lauren's discovery. Lauren was alive. He had escaped. And now, he stood in a hidden room under the old alien base. There, he found a stasis pod. Inside it floated a child. Human. But not born on Earth. His eyes opened, glowing blue. Lauren whispered, "What are you?" The child replied, "I am the future." Far beyond the stars, a signal activated. Not Varnuk, not human. Something ancient. Awakened. And it spoke one word. Earth. Then silence. But not for long. The war had changed. The guns still fired. The ships still flew. But now eyes turned toward something far older. And far more dangerous. And at the center of it all was a child. Lorne's escape. Lorne pressed his back against the cold wall of the underground tunnel beneath the old alien base on Phobos. He had escaped his prison weeks ago, moving only at night, hiding from alien patrols, stealing food, surviving on luck and rage. But what he found in the lowest level changed everything. A sealed room. Ancient alien symbols. And inside, a stasis pod. He wiped dust from the glass. A child floated inside, no older than 5. Human in shape. But his eyes glowed bright blue even in sleep. Lorne found a terminal nearby. Old tech, part Varnuk, part something else. He hacked it. The system spoke one word aloud. Project Solara. Then the child opened his eyes, back on Earth. Strange signals on Earth. Inside Dr. Cale Voss's lab at Fort Sentinel, alarms began to beep. He rushed to the terminal. A signal was coming from Phobos, human encryption, but buried deep in alien frequencies. He decoded the first part. It was Lorne's voice. "This is Lorne. I found something. Not Varnuk, older, human. I think it's a child, but not born like US." He spoke inside my mind. Said one word, awakening. Dr. Voss's hands shook. He opened a secure channel to President Alara. "We may have found the real reason this war started." Rayan's return mission. Rayan Cross had just returned from the destruction of the Thought Fortress. He was tired, wounded, but focused. General Kane showed him the message. "Lorne's alive," Kane said. "And if this intel is real, we can't ignore it." Rayan stood. "Send me in." King nodded. "Unit Nova will return to Phobos. Quiet, fast, no fleet." Rayan looked at the map of the solar system. His finger tapped Phobos. "We left a soldier behind. Now we bring him and answers home." Deep under Phobos, Lorne sat with the child. The air was cold, the lights dim. The boy didn't speak much. But when he did, his words were clear and frightening. "I was made to stop the darkness, but I woke up too early." Lorne asked, "What darkness?" The child replied, "The ones who speak without sound, who eat stars." Lorne frowned. "You mean the Varnuk?" The child shook his head. "No. The ones that made them." Suddenly the walls vibrated. Footsteps echoed, more aliens. Coming fast, Lorne grabbed the boy. "I promised I'd protect you," he said. "Let's move." Arrival of Unit Nova. Rayan and his team landed on Phobos at midnight. No lights, silent approach. They moved through old tunnels, scanning for Lorne's signal. It was weak, fading. But then Kira picked up a reading. Multiple heat signatures. 1 human, 1 unknown, 6 Varnuk coming fast. Rayan moved without thinking. "Go." They entered the lower chamber. Lorne was there, fighting 3 Varnuk hand to hand. The child stood behind a fallen machine. Rayan shot 2 aliens before they could turn. Lorne looked up, breathing hard. "Took you long enough," Rayan smiled. "You always did like hiding." They grabbed the child and ran. Chased through the tunnels, alarms rang. The fortress shook. Rayan carried the boy in one arm. Firing with the other, Lorne and Kira covered the rear. "They're behind us," shouted Kira. Rayan ducked into a side hall. "This way," explosions followed. Metal rained down. Finally they reached the extraction point. The Falcon Spear, a light stealth ship, hovered above the surface. Everyone jumped aboard. Rayan hit the hatch button. Clunk! The ship rose into the stars. Questions in orbit inside the ship. Rayan looked at the child. He sat calmly. "No fear." Rayan knelt. "What's your name?" The child tilted his head. "I don't remember." But I was made to remember something else. He placed his small hand on the floor. Suddenly, the ship lights blinked. A projection appeared in the air. A map of the galaxy, with one part glowing red. Kira whispered, "What is that?" The child replied, "Where they sleep." Dr. Voss's revelation back on Earth. Dr. Voss watched the data from the child's mind. He froze. The red zone was a region near the edge of the galaxy, called Sector Hollow, a dead zone. No stars, no planets. Just black, except it wasn't empty. Inside it. Something moved. Slow, old, hungry. The original creators of the Varnak, or something worse. Voss said, "This boy holds the key to a war we don't understand." President Alara nodded. "Then we keep him safe. At all costs." Inside the mind of the child in the ship's quiet medbay, the boy rested, but his dreams were not peaceful. He saw visions, burning stars, screaming. Varnak, humans floating in dark space, eyes open, but soulless. Then he saw a symbol, glowing. Gold, a door, a key, a face, Rayan's. He woke with a gasp. Final scene, message from the unknown as the Falcon spear moved toward Earth. A new signal hit its scanners. Not from the V, a RNOK. Not human. A deep, cold voice. It spoke into every mind. On board. You found our key. The child belongs to us. Return him, or Earth will burn first. Rayan stood. No. He looked at the stars. Come and take him. Ending hook of Part 7. Far away, in Sector Hollow, the dark shape of something impossible began to rise. It was not a ship. It was not a planet. It was a living machine. Miles wide, with thousands of red eyes, and it had just opened its mouth. The stars were watching. The final war had begun. And Earth was ready. Global mobilization, after the child's message and the terrifying broadcast from the Sector Hollow. Earth united like never before. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon. All under one command. President Alara stood before the world. We have fought aliens. We have faced betrayal. But now we face extinction. And we say, no. The final mission was called Operation Phoenix Fire. One goal: attack the source in Sector Hollow. Destroy the ancient machine, being rising from the dark. Save the child. Save the future. Preparing for war in Earth orbit. The largest human fleet in history gathered. 300 warships, 800 fighters, 12 stealth bombers, 1 massive carrier. The Titan Flammarian Cross stood on the command deck of the Titan Flame with General Kane and Kira. He looked out at the stars. This time, he said, "We don't run." Kane nodded. "This is humanity's lying in the sand." The child's final message in the medical bay. The child sat up. His voice was calm but urgent. The Ancient One is called Vercanus. It created the Varnak. It created the war. Now it wants me to become the next one. Rayan asked, "Why you?" The boy looked sad. "Because I was made from its code. Half human, half machine. But I choose who I become." He looked at Rayan. "Help me stop it." Rayan put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "We will together." Entering Sector Hollow, the human fleet crossed into Sector Hollow, the dead zone where no light existed. Everything became dark, silent, cold. Then shapes appeared. Dozens of alien Varnak ships. But they didn't attack. They just floated. Dead. Dr. Voss said from a side screen, "Vercanus has shut down everything else. It's gathering energy for one strike." Then they saw it. The being. It wasn't a ship. It was alive, bigger than a moon, made of metal, bone, and black star matter. Red eyes opened across its body, and it spoke into every mind. "You chose war. Now choose death." The battle begins. The human fleet opened fire. Railguns, missiles, plasma beams. The sky lit up. VOR. Canis responded. It fired black beams of energy that ripped ships apart. One human cruiser vanished in seconds. Fighters dodged, returned fire. Kira hacked into the alien defense grid. We have 90 seconds before it charges again. Rayan led a boarding. Squad. Their target, the core chamber at the center of Vulcanus. They flew in small pods toward its surface, dodging debris and fire. One pod exploded. Another made it through. Rayan's pod hit the skin of the beast and drilled in. Inside the mind of the monster. Team entered the heart of the ancient being. It looked like a cathedral of death, walls made of metal bones and wires, pulsing with red light, and in the center, a throne, Vulcanus' score. The boy stepped forward, his eyes began to glow. It's calling me, but I won't listen. Suddenly, the floor opened. Alien creatures poured out, twisted, half-machine things. Rayan and the team fired. Blasts, screams, smoke. One by one, soldiers fell, but the boy kept walking. He placed his hand on the core, and everything froze. The choice inside his mind. The boy stood before the spirit of Vulcanus. It looked like a shadow with 1,000,000 eyes. Join me, become like me, rule forever. The boy said nothing. Then he heard Rayan's voice, not real, but strong. You're not a machine, you're human. The boy raised his hand. No, he said. I am not you. He released the code he carried. It was human code. It broke the system. Destruction of VOR. Canis. The core began to collapse. Explosions ripped through the creature's body. The human fleet fired their final shot. The gravity lance. It hit the heart. Vulcanus screamed, then shattered into black light. Pieces flew into deep space. The stars returned. The darkness ended. Aftermath. Fleet limped home. Half were lost, but Earth was safe. Forever changed, but free. Rayan carried the boy off the ship. Reporters called him the child of two worlds, but Rayan called him something else, hope. Lorne's return. Lorne stood on Earth soil again. He looked up at the sun, smiled. Not bad for a guy left behind. Rayan and Kira stood on a quiet hill near Fort Sentinel. Think it's over? She asked. Rayan shook his head. No, but next time. We'll be ready. They stood in silence, watching kids fly kites. No fear. Just future. Final ending scene. 10 years later, in a classroom on Mars, a teacher pointed at a hologram of a battle. Who saved us from the great darkness? The kids shouted together. Rayan, Kira, Lorne, and the boy with the glowing eyes. In the back of the class, a quiet teenager sat. He had blue eyes and a quiet smile. He looked up at the stars. Something whispered, but he didn't answer. He just smiled, because now he was human, and the stars were safe.